Welcome to Averageability. In this lesson I'm learning to use multiplication to add and subtract whole numbers, fractions and decimals. Let's start with a list of numbers. Let's imagine I'm studying a plant as part of a science experiment, and every day I have to record how many new flowers open up on this plant. On day 1 there's 1 flower, on day 2 there's 2, day 3 there's 3, day 4 has got 4 flowers, day 5 has got 5 new flowers, 6 new flowers on day 6, all the way up to the 10th day where 10 new flowers open up. Now I want to see if there's a quick way where I can add up all of these numbers so I can work out how many flowers there are on my plant in total. Now I could go through and go 1 plus 2 and 2 plus, and continue on, plus 3 plus another 4, but that's a really slow way, so I'm looking for a pattern. In fact, I'm looking for pairs of numbers that add to the same amount. If I join 10 and 1 together, you can see I get a pair which add to 11. And if I add 2 and 9 together, I get another pair which add to 11. I could also add 8 and 3, 4 and 7, and 6 and 5. So you can see I've managed to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pairs, and I know that each of those pairs add to 11. So I've got 5 groups of 11. And I know the answer to 5 groups of 11 is 55, so the answer to this question must be 55. That means after 10 days there's 55 flowers on the plant. Let's imagine I'm also studying a second plant, but this plant grows a little bit differently. On day 1 there's 2 flowers. On day 2 there are 4 new flowers that open up. On day 3 there are 6. On day 4 there is 8. On day 5 there is 10, and this pattern continues just like this every day until I get up to 20 flowers opening on the last day of my trial. So just like last time, I'm going to look for some pairs of numbers which I can add together. You've probably noticed that if I add 20 and this 2, I get 22. I could also add the 4 and the 18, that would get me 22. I could do 16 and 6, 14 and 8, and 10 and 12. And just as a double check, I can count up how many numbers there are here, and that's 10 numbers. So if there's 10 numbers, I should be able to make 5 pairs of numbers. And I can check I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I'm on track. Okay, so we've got 5 groups of, and we know that these pairs of numbers add to 22. So I've got 5 groups of 22. And I know that 5 times 22 is 110. So the answer to this question must be that at the end of my trial I would have 110 flowers on this plant. Let's try another one. This time let's imagine that a supermarket is launching a new product, and on the first day they only sell 1, and on the second day they sell 2, and on the third day they sell 3. You can see it's getting a little bit more popular every day. On the next day they sell, or the 4th day they sell 4, 5th day they sell 5, and this pattern continues on up until the 100th day when they sell 100. Now I want to work out how many of this new product they have sold. Now if I wrote all of these numbers out like I have been in the question above, it's going to take forever and it could get quite messy with all the lines that I'd have linking. So let's see if we can just think about this question. Well, I know that if I have 100 numbers, that means I must have 50 pairs of numbers, or 50 groups of numbers. Now I just need to work out what each of those groups of numbers would add to. Well, I could group 100 with 1, that would be 101, and I'd better just check another one. 99 would be matched up with 2, and that equals 101 as well, and if I did one more, 98, that would pair up with the 3, and that also equals 101. So I've got 50 groups of 100 and 1. So that means that the supermarket, after 100 days, must have sold 5,050 units of this product. Now let's imagine I'm starting a new fitness routine. On day 1 I run 2.5 laps, the next day I run 3 laps, then I run 3.5 laps the next day, 4 laps after that, 4.5 laps the next day, 5 laps, and this pattern continues on all the way up to 7.5 laps. Now let's just have a closer look at these numbers here. You can see if you count them up, we've actually got 11 numbers here. Now we know that we can't split 11 evenly so that we have pairs of numbers, because 11 is an odd number. But let's go ahead and use our method that we've been using so far and just see what happens. Well, if I grouped these n2 numbers, 2.5 and 7.5, I'm going to get 10. Let's see what we get if we add 7 and the number down this far end. 7 plus 3, yep, that's also 10. 3.5 plus 6.5, that's also 10. 6 plus 4 can go together and they equal 10. 4.5 and 5.5 go together and they equal 10. And then I've got this one number left over which I can't pair up with anything else. Well, you can see I've been able to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups which added to 10. And I know the answer to that is 50, but I need to remember that I still had this number here left over, so now I need to add that in. 50 plus that 5 means I get 55. So after 11 days of my new fitness regime, I will have run 55 laps. I hope you found this lesson helpful. For more lessons, check out teachertools.co.nz.